Is it true that during the 1964 team picture, you held Bob Gibson's hand?
Yes, as a matter of fact, wait a minute. Are we taping?
Yeah.
You want me to show it to you?
You haven't?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
They put that picture up on the bulletin board when I came to the ballpark one day, on the day they were going to hand them out. And Johnny Keane was mad. He was awfully hot about that. So were the Cardinals. But it turned out to be a funny part of my time here in St. Louis.
How would you explain your success against Sandy Koufax?
I don't really know. I've sometimes, every time I see him at the Hall of Fame, during the summer, I always go up and apologize to him because I was always afraid that, whatever I did against him was going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. I always worried about that. Geez, I hit a home run against Koufax. What's that going to do to his Hall of Fame chances? So Gaylord Perry, as a matter of fact, is another guy. Gaylord Perry says that I hit a home run against him. He's got the date and everything. He said it's the worst moment of his whole life. Not baseball, just his whole life, everything. The drought that he had for his tobacco farm and everything else. It's the worst day of his whole life. Yeah.
You also had a good strategy about catching knuckleballers because you caught a few over the years.
I did. It's kind of just to wait until it stopped rolling and then kind of just pick it up. Yeah.
What was your best moment ever as a big leaguer?
It was probably after a game. It was not during a game. It was always after games, late at night, trying to get into hotels after curfew, stuff like that.
You've often talked about how your accomplishment of staying in the big leagues is more noteworthy than a really talented player staying in the big leagues.
Well, yeah, I think anybody that that hits 300 year after year, I mean, what problem do you have staying in the big leagues? I mean, for me to last as long as I did, hitting 200, maybe 3 RBIs a year, try to get them right at the end of the year where it's going to stay in your general manager's mind over the winter. Stuff like that. I mean, as I said, just don't show up at the wrong times, stay out of the manager's way. Just, ride your own plane to road trips. Other, teams on a charter, I'd take a Piper Cup. No big deal. I always got there.
And I also read where you were real proud of your son and his little league career.
Well, he was kind of like me. In their championship game, he struck out 3 times, and he let a ball go right through his leg with the bases loaded. The winning run scored, and I couldn't have been more proud. Walking through the parking lot and those other parents screaming at us and throwing stuff at our car and everything. It was beautiful. Yeah, it was great. It was a great moment.
Did you ever win Minor League Player of the Year award?
That I did. Unfortunately, it was my second year in the major leagues, but I did win the minor league year. Yeah, that was pretty neat too. Yeah.
And I understand too that your parents moved around a lot when you were a child.
It was one of the problems I had as a kid because you don't make many friends because they did move, but I always found them. No matter where they moved, I always found them. Yeah, it was pretty good. Sometimes, a couple of 100 miles away, but I always found them. Signed a very modest $3,000 bonus with the Braves in Milwaukee, which I'm sure a lot of you know. And my old man didn't have that kind of money to put out.
What did that Hall of Fame moment mean to you?
Oh, that's something that every player that gets there or broadcaster that gets there, it's an unbelievable thing that you never ever forget about. I mean, having played, which was a plus for me, or sat, whatever you want to call it, but then to have had this kind of a career in broadcasting and
in his 22nd game for the Cardinals this year
and television.
Can't keep the gang waiting. Fans are always joking.
Comedy work.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering, just a bit outside.
And everything else. I mean, that to stand up there and have all your friends sitting behind you laughing at what you're saying. The guy goes out every year, hits 300, 325, 350. What do you got to look forward to? And I mean, I knew I wasn't going to be serious when I did my induction speech. I knew I wanted to have fun, and we did. I remember sitting around our kitchen table counting all this money, coins out of jars. And I'm telling my dad, let's forget this. I don't want to play. He said, no, you are going to play baseball. We're going to have you make some money, and we're going to live real good.
Is your wit like a Willie Mays' ability? I mean, was it a natural gift you had at a young age?
I think so. It doesn't take a lot. I don't write a lot of stuff. In the movies, they kind of let me do what I wanted. There was a script, and I had that on the floor when I was working, and then whatever I wanted to say, which is no different than what I do on the broadcast. I don't ever make fun of anybody. I don't do that on our broadcast. But I do have fun. I mean, if you're getting your brains beat out, you got to do something to keep people listening. And but I don't make fun of players. I don't ever do that. I can make up stories. Glad to be back here in St. Louis and to see this ballpark. I think if I'd have played in this park, I could have hit. This is a beautiful park. The old park was just too old. I couldn't hit in there.
How well could you have hit in this park? You think?
Probably $170, $180, about 5 RBIs.